A reading from the Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus said to them, "See, I am sending you out like sheep into the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of them, for they will hand you over to councils and flog you in their synagogues, and you will be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. And when they hand you over, do not worry about how you are to speak or what you are to say, for what you are to say will be given to you at that time. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. And brother will betray brother to death, and father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all because of my name. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in town, flee to the next. For truly I tell you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes." The word of the Lord. Not a light-hearted reading, but a stark message from Jesus. This follows the passage that we heard in the Sermon of the Day yesterday, when Jesus has called those first disciples and sends them out to do the work he has given them to do, and he gives them instructions, seemingly very simple instructions. Go and offer the peace of God, and if they reject you, move on, and if they don't reject you, celebrate. Sounds very simple, but then today is when he gets to really the stark reality of it, which is that there's real danger in this world. And he's not sugarcoating it for them. But then he also says, but don't be afraid. So it's very real danger. It very well may kill you, but don't be afraid. I make sense of a lot of this in my own context, being somebody who struggles with post-traumatic stress disorder. In that vein, when somebody is in that place, it can sometimes be hard to tell the difference between an anxious response to danger that's there, in which case anxiety is perfectly appropriate. When you're walking through the woods and a bear jumps out at you, you should be anxious. That's what's going to protect you from the bear, is your anxious response to flee. But there's also times, and this is where the post-traumatic stress comes in, where we may have an anxious response to something that is not a danger in our presence. That's when you're walking through the woods and you have the anxiety attack as if the bear is jumping out and attacking when there's no bear there. And the reason I bring this up is to say, one of the things that I work on with PTSD is taking a lot of time and being mindful of where the danger really is, where the harm really is, and when am I having a fear-based response that's not actually rooted in the danger. Now, I know Jesus was not talking to his disciples in a time where they were aware of the advanced diagnoses we have in the world today, but Jesus was keen enough to know that he was sending these disciples out into a world that was really dangerous for them. And he wanted them to go into it with open eyes. In the same way that when you're walking in the woods, you should have open eyes and be aware for when that bear jumps out at you. And he's telling them, it very well may happen. So be vigilant. Be aware. The danger is there in the world. But he also tells them, don't be afraid. And where I hear that is, don't let the fear control you. Don't let it take you over. And don't let the fear dictate who you are called to be in this world. If we live our lives so afraid of the bear that isn't even there right now, that we never venture into the woods, we're letting our fear control us. And that's the distinction. And so as we go out into this world, where there are real dangers in this world, and we may even be opening ourselves up to some of them by radically proclaiming God's message in word and deed, knowing we might face things like rejection and dismissiveness and even hostility, to be aware those dangers really are there, but to not walk around letting fear grip you and control you and stop you from being the person you're called to be. And I spend a lot of my time doing that, and I think it's good advice for those disciples. I think it's good advice for us as disciples today to be aware of where the dangers are, but not to let them control who we are called to be in this world. Thanks be to God. Amen.